Back here live at the Waterfront Village with my friend, the zombie, Jonathan. You're looking good. Jonathan just got an awesome face paint job. What do you think?
I make turtles.
It's now time for Big D Energy with four-time Stanley Cup champ Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule. Live on the Woodward Sports Network, 99.1 and 93.5 The Roar, the Woodward Sports app, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. Let's talk some sports. It's Big D Energy.
What up, though? Welcome back to Big D Energy. I'm your boy Easy.
Big D!
Heavyweights filling in for the GOAT voice of Neil Rule. And that's the four-time Stanley Cup champion, Darren McCarty. We got Flannel Sam in the audio booth, Kung Fu Spinning in the TD booth. What do you like more, actually, Spence? Kung Fu Spinning or Spin Mo Racks?
It doesn't matter. I mean, Spin Mo Racks is more
They'll
accurate.
answer to both.
You know, that's my name. I'll answer to both. I don't care what you call me.
Call me anything but late for dinner.
Yeah. No, that was terrible.
Detroit Dabber keeping it up, back to back. He's putting a streak on just like Sammy with the flannels. How many days today, kid?
44.
Whoa, 44.
Disgusting.
The Hank Aaron. That's for Maz. Maz knows it. For anybody out there, Maz will know who Hank Aaron is.
Oh, we know Hank Aaron.
Miggy.
Miguel Cabrera is about to join a club that only Hank Aaron and one other is a part of. 3,000 hits.
Segue easy. That's called a segue.
Oh, yeah.
You see the way I just did that?
You did it. I did it.
All the way into this afternoon's
guy
game.
taking all
If
the credit.
anybody's paying attention, Miguel Cabrera, one hit away. Could have got it last night, but didn't. Afternoon game. Our boy Rogelio Castillo will be down there with all the action. Can't wait to see, but it's pretty exciting. You know?
Oh, yeah, it is.
Pretty exciting to tell the people that stat again. About Miguel Cabrera, Hank Aaron, and one other person.
Yeah, I got to look at the text thread. So Maz actually went and said to me, there's Hank Aaron, Miguel Cabrera. I'm trying to think of the other one, but only those three have hit 3,000 hits, 500 home runs. There's one other piece of it. During the break, I'll grab my phone and check it out for sure. But, like, I've always said, like do people hate the Green Bay Packers and because Aaron Rodgers, like, beats the heck out of us? I'm trying not to swear. I apologize. But, like, I appreciate the greatness of a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre. Like, to have that in our hometown with Miggy, you know, the greatness of it, like, it's just, obviously I'm here, I'm happy to witness it, but I'm even more happy it's like a Detroit team, you know?
Well, it's one of those things that we talked about, and I think that you see where his sense is that he's going to try his best to get it out of the way, because did you see how he responded last night when asked about it, and he's like, who cares, we lost.
Yeah.
Right? It's inevitable. I think it's something that, you know, to me, when I talk about Miguel Cabrera, I use the word engaged. When I see an engaged Miguel Cabrera, that's what I'm seeing off the bench. A guy that, you know, that's caring, that's bringing something, that knows that the first 40 games of this season where you can't win the division, but you can definitely lose the division. So they got it tough. They need to win to be able to take one of these games against the Yankees. We knew the Yankees coming in were going to be tough. You know, they weren't playing that well, but they've been able to get it done. So up and down the Yankee lineup, you know, there's tough outs. So hopefully Miggy does it. Hopefully, to your point, Easy, the fact that it has happened, he has done this. He has been one probably the only guy in Detroit sports for the past 10, 12 years that's really carried that superstar mantra throughout. So it's always nice when things happen. It got me thinking about Brett Hull scoring his 600th goal at the Joe against San Jose, being there for that. Dino Ciccarelli getting his 500th. I still have the picture of that back in '95. Yeah, I've been a part of a lot of 1,000 games, a lot of milestones and stuff like this. I loved it though. My thing when I got my 100th career goal, the PR department, John Hahn and Anne-Marie Kratman and them, they presented me. They took one of my sticks and they wrapped it in tinfoil and said, here's the Grinder's silver stick, because it's like you score 500 goals, they give you this like 20-pound silver stick that's engraved all your, you know. So I thought that the fact that they went and they put the aluminum foil around the stick, that was classic. But again, that goes to culture, and good luck to Miguel Cabrera today. You know, he's going to get it done, but just hopefully he does it here at home.
For sure. And that class of three that I was speaking of earlier, and this is from our guy Tom Mazway, shout out to him. legend is himself there. But 3,000 hits, 600 doubles, and 500 home runs. Hank Aaron, Albert Pujols, and hopefully today, Miguel Cabrera.
Well, and there it goes, right? Like where, I guess because of the baseball fandom and whatever else, but Albert Pujols and Miguel Cabrera are two of the generational gunslingers that are riding off into the sunset and, you know, picking up some of these records along the way. It's cool to see Pujols go back to St. Louis to end it. So I just hope Miggy does it today, and I got a good feeling that he's going to get that hit. And
For
knowing
sure.
him, he's going to get out of the way first at bat. So everybody who's going down there, hopefully the weather holds off, and we'll be able to see all that video and stuff.
I kind of hope it like dreads on a little bit because maybe we can squeak in and make it to the game because the 1 o'clock start.
If he doesn't do it his first at bat, you could definitely make it down there. And wouldn't it be apropos if it is a home run or whatever? I always think that, you know, when these milestones are the home runs. One of the big ones, and this goes just top of my head, is because the Red Wings photographer Dave Regnick, he had the photo of Jim Thome when he hit. It's amazing because they used Dave's photos for all the Jim Thome 600 home run photos because he hit 2 that day at Comerica, and nationally they didn't have a lot of photographers there, right? So he got the great photo, the photo, I guess, as photographers want. So it'll be interesting to see who gets the photo today or when Miguel does it.
That's a good point. I know Maz likes looking for stuff like that too. But we have a big show, action-packed show for you guys today. Obviously, Darren's been a part of many Red Wings legendary nights, and hopefully we can talk about some future Red Wings with our guy Max Bultman. He's a writer for the Detroit Red Wings. He actually traveled to Sweden to check out these prospects. And I was looking at top 10. I think I said this to the chat a couple days ago. 5 of the top 10 Swedish prospects are Detroit Red Wings.
Right. So, like, do you listen when I talk or no? Probably not.
I don't think you ever said that one.
If you guys
to be
do,
honest.
I mean, I don't throw out idle threats, and the fact is that wait to see what we have coming down the hopper, right? Remember you said who's got the dynamic duo in town? Well, I believe that the dynamic duo isn't together yet because I believe Joel Edvinsson and Mo Seider is the new dynamic duo in town. But we'll ask Max Bultman about that. We'll ask him about the coaching decision. We'll ask him about Verona Larkin, and even about, sensitive subject that came out yesterday in the Free Press about Al Sabaka, Zamboni driver, and we'll touch on that a little bit. I'll ask him.
What happened?
Do you not read the paper, or so he was fired or let go because of I don't have the article here, but urinating into the ice, which is it's ridiculous at an ice rink in the back to whatever. But the fact is, Al's got prostate cancer, so it's one of those things, and so there's a lawsuit. And the bottom line is, I reached out to Al, and when Al wants to talk and tell his side or whatever, he'll be doing it on this show. So.
Yeah.
When everything's got to play out, but it's just unfortunate because he's been there for over 50 years, and Uncle Al, I think that trying to, not knowing the full details, and I'm not speculating anything. It's just trying to get the truth and everything else out. But the fact is, the hardest part is this is one of the things is having a conversation with my son, who grew up, all our kids, it's Uncle Al, and, trying to understand what's going on. And when you don't have all the answers, eventually, like I tell everybody, in all due time, the truth and everything will come out. And Al knows he has a voice when he needs it. But right now, as I just read, like everybody else did in the Free article, that's what I know. So,
wow.
But yeah.
I didn't know that's what it was.
And here's the one thing is that I'll throw it in from my observation, and if I don't say it, if I think it, I'm saying it, doesn't it? I guess he's been suspended. Reading in the article in the Freep, you can pull it up, or you can find it and put it on the site. Is the fact he's been gone since February 17th.
Mm-hmm.
Since Al's been, where people don't understand that. What I just say to that is go look back at the complaints on the ice. He wasn't around. He hasn't been there. What I'm just saying is that. There's a reason why you see guys fall down and why the ice ain't the same that it is. If the guy who's been making it for 50 years knows how to do it isn't there. So, again, a little behind the scenes, but ain't going anywhere. The truth will come out, whether if it's goes to court or goes to whatever. There's some legalities to it, and I understand personally that sometimes, you got to be quiet. So, other than that, is aware of it. We'll ask Max if he has anything else on it, but right now that's pretty much where it lies.
To be honest, like, when you gotta go, you gotta go. I mean, I didn't know that he had been there that long. I'm looking at the article now. He's 68 years old. Obviously, your son calls him Uncle Al. That's pretty crazy because I've been to a Red Wings game with you, and you know everybody. Everyone's been there forever. Like the gentleman you said that runs I forget which department it was, but you said he started like taking parking your guys' cars and stuff like that. Yeah,
started in the parking lot when he was 16. Yeah.
It's crazy. It felt like you guys were all big families.
All these guys.
For that stuff to happen.
Extended family as it should be. So, again, just like any other family organization things. But, yeah. And there was rumblings about it.
Yeah.
Or people talking about it, but until yesterday when something came out, and everybody knows what I know. So, but it's not getting buried anywhere. We'll find out when somebody wants to talk. So
yeah, I mean, I'm excited to find out. Sorry guys, that was news to me. I knew there was someone peed, a Detroit Red Wings employee peed. I thought it was like in a cup or something like that. People were making jokes about it on Twitter. I didn't know that was the whole situation. But we still have an action-packed show for you. We're bringing out one Jeff Iafrate to talk some Detroit Pistons and possible Detroit Pistons free agents. You guys know we've been drooling over it earlier in the week over guys like Jordan Poole. There's a couple names in that list too, though. Any guys you like, Sam?
I mean, a pipe dream for me would be Miles Bridges. I would probably be doing backflips because I think he is the perfect player to complement a guy like Cade because he complemented a guy like LaMelo Ball, who I think is a very similar player to Cade in a lot of ways.
Okay. We'll get into it when Jeff gets in here. I know Spence will have a take on that one because fellow Sparty himself. We actually had a talk on the heavyweight pod about that one.
Yeah, that's my boy Miles, Like I think I've said it on this show before. I helped him get an A on Journalism 108 final exam.
Is this for real?
Oh yeah, right before the Big Ten tournament, before they left, I sat in between him and Langford, and they both copied off me. I got him a 97. Got him in the Big Ten tournament, and the rest is history. But that's my guy. I love Miles.
The only part of that story.
Oh, and I missed that. Was he doting on Melo again? Did he just say the next coming to Melo or something? Is that what I heard?
No. Melo's my guy. Melo is my guy.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that when I'm here. Neil's not. You're not going to get it by him. But I think at the end of the day, it'll be interesting to talk to Jeff or even talking to you guys. Mm-hmm. There's some excitement.
Well, I'm ready to nerd out.
No, but you guys got excitement,
Yeah.
And I say when the kids are excited, there's something in the brew pot there, something coming down. And when it comes to the Pistons, and here, I'll go to the voice of reason. Sam, is it right for me to say and to look at this like this? These aren't just pipe dreams. These are actually conversations that could and maybe will be had by this organization because of where we're at, not only with our talent level, but also with our coach and GM and stuff. Like in the past, it seems with Van Gundy or other route that we just weren't looked at seriously. Now, we didn't have the talent, but is there something to that as far as does the league, in your opinion, know that the Pistons are coming?
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with Troy Weaver. He's obviously turned into a very credible GM. Dwayne Casey used to be a coach of the year. Pipe dream may have been a bit of a poor choice of words when it comes to Miles Bridges. I just know he might demand a max contract. But I think they're at a point where they can spend and get a free agent. And Miles Bridges, like I said before, I think pairs very well with Cade Cunningham because he's more of an off-the-ball player.
But my question is, and forget about it being the person Miles Bridges, but the fact that the Miles Bridges that are coming up that might be the conversation, it passes through Troy Weaver, right? Across his desk going, okay, and you can pass on it. But what I'm saying is players want to come here and play. Like they're starting to look at Detroit as a destination, as a building, and obviously with Cade Cunningham, why wouldn't it be?
We'll find out this offseason, I think with Miles is a little different, though. He's a little hometown cooking, because he's from Flint. Went to Michigan State.
You say that, but at the end of the day, it's all about the bag. It's all about the bag. And if you want the bag too, not just Miles Bridges, the Pistons, whoever we're signing, I'm talking about you, $100,000. Yes, 100 G's. Our friends at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, yes, they're going to hook it up. All you have to do is walk in, you sign, and you sit down. Before you get the beautiful King's treatment, you say, excuse me, can I get into the draw? And the young lady will say, oh, you mean for $100,000? And you say, yes. Boom, bang. That's all it is. That's how it's done. So, between 10 and 8, 7 days a week, 168 locations throughout this great country. Get into Lady Jane's. And we all know why easy. Because Lady Jane's is wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome. Woodward Sports. We'll be right back.
Everything that we've hoped for, finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
It's all happening now.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward Sports is here.
Sticker Genius is the official sticker partner of Woodward Sports, whether it's a stickers or signage or anything else. Look at the beautiful signage in this room. You can be a part of that too. All you have to do is go to stickergenius.com today. Get ready. Coming soon is all the new stickers and stuff for Woodward Sports. So we're going to get out and about. The best part of it, need things real quick, 24-hour turnaround. So go to stickergenius.com. Tell them Woodward Sports, Big D Energy sent you. Big D.
Sticker Genius. Bum, 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 bum. Sticker Genius. Bum, 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 bum. What up, though? Welcome back to Big D Energy. I'm Easy from the Woodward Heavyweights, filling in for the golden voice of Neil Rule, joined by the four-time Stanley Cup champion, Darren McCarty. And talking about Stanley Cup champions, Detroit Red Wings. We got a Detroit Red Wings beat writer with us, man. We got Max Bultman coming on. What up, Max?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, Max. Man. Thanks for joining us today on this Thirsty Thursday. Big D Energy.
My pleasure. How's it going?
It's going good, well. I'm going to start you off with 30,000-foot view from your perspective. You've watched some good hockey this year. You've watched some bad hockey this year. I guess, obviously, I'll ask you about the coaching decision in a bit and stuff like this, but just where is this team at? And I guess from my perspective is that I thought earlier in the year we might have 8-9 guys that we're going to move ahead with. When we're sitting here at the end of the season, and there might be 4 or 5. Are you along with me as sort of that thought process?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I don't know exactly what the number is, but when you look at how they started and the way that they got out, they were really not just in games with good teams. They were taking games from good teams. They went and they beat the Capitals on the road. I'm sure you guys remember that game against Florida at home. That that's one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the league this year. They played them super tight, and it seemed like, okay, they've kind of got this thing where they've been trying to get it, and obviously the last 2.5 months, it's definitely fallen off of that, and with that, how this is, like it comes usually some change, and we'll see where it kind of ends up. We'll see what they do with. They got some big decisions to make on guys like, some of their pending free agents, and what are they going to do with the Tyler Bertuzzis, the Philip Hroneks? How long are they going to kind of stick this out on some of their young guys? And these are all questions that I don't have the answers to. Steve Eisman doesn't really let that stuff out of his innermost circle, and those are, to me, kind of the defining questions of this offseason.
Max, I was told by Little Birdie you made a trip to Sweden to check out the Swedish prospects. Is that true?
I did, yeah, in February. It was supposed to be during the Olympic break. Obviously, I ended up missing some NHL games as a result of it because they got pushed back. But, yeah, I was over there for about 8 days. Obviously, Detroit's drafted like crazy out of Sweden. You know, Håkan Andersson's picked a ton of guys early and often out of Sweden over there, and a lot of them out of one specific organization for Lunda. And so I went and spent a week in Gothenburg. I saw those guys play 3 times. Albert Johansson's team came through one of those games. So I got to see a lot of their Swedish guys in that week. It was really cool.
Yeah, I wanted to ask because I've been teasing Simon Edvinsson as the pairing for Mo Sider, for the future.
What did you say?
I've been teasing Simon Edvinsson. What?
Oh, what? Did he just he stood here and he just stole it out of my mouth, right?
This guy, dude.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead with your big prognostications that you can't even spell Red Wings, but go ahead.
You can't spell procrastination. I can't even say it.
No, I can stand up here and slap you on the side of your head, though.
On the Swedish prospects, he's actually ranked over Simon Edvinsson. Is he better? Like, should I be more excited for that pairing with Mo, or what's going on?
Say that one more time.
I was looking at the Swedish prospects in the rankings in the top 10. We have 5 of those guys are Detroit Red Wings. But I've seen the rankings. They have Albert Johansson ranked over Edvinsson. Should I be more excited for him versus Simon, or what's going on?
That's probably just like a point total thing. Like, Edvinsson, I think, is the guy. I mean, he's a potential top pair defenseman. I don't know that he's going to play next to Seider because typically if you have 2 guys who can just eat minutes like that and can impact the game that much, you probably just want to split them up so you can have 1 on each pair in your top 4 and they can eat, 3/4 of the game for you that way. That's kind of how I see it playing out. If you wanted to play them together, I think you potentially have one of the best deep pairings in the NHL if you did it that way. But the way I kind of, would expect it to play out, and I'm sure they'll try different things over the years when he's over here, but I would expect to see each of them anchoring one of Detroit's top 2 pairs. Because when you look at Edvinsson, it's a 6'6" guy who skates like a gazelle. He's got really good hands. He's smart. He kills plays with his stick. And he's got some physicality to him. He needs to bulk up a little bit and get a little stronger. He's had a little bit of injury issues over there this year. But I think he's a stud. And I think you're going to have each of those 2 guys, Seider and Edvinsson, anchoring one of your top 2 pairings for a long time to come.
Now, out of these 5 guys, which one do you expect to see in the wing wheel jersey first? Because Soderblom looks pretty sick too.
Yeah, he is, and he's really good. I would tentatively say Edvinsson. I mean, we'll see how kind of his off-season strength program goes and if he's ready to do it right away next year. But I don't think Soderblom will be too far behind it. For those of people who don't know, he's a forward, a winger, 6'8", 240. I've heard 250 in some places, which is about the size of Isaiah Stewart from the Pistons. And he's got great hands on him, which you almost never see from guys that big, right? He's a little bit of a unicorn in that way. I do think guys are going to see that size in the NHL, and I think some of the tougher guys in the NHL are going to take it as a little bit of a challenge to come see if he's ready to kind of be 6'8" in the NHL. And for that reason, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets an AHL look to start to get used to kind of the physicality. I think the AHL does a great job of preparing guys for that and what it's going to be like in the NHL. But I do think, Soderblom is a guy who, when he gets to the NHL level, can have offensive success. I'm just really curious to see how they're going to want to use him because 6'8", you usually think, park that guy at the crease and let him work. But this is a guy who does a lot with his hands. I think he's going to want to probably play not just parked in front of the net. And we'll see how that plays out for him. But I think he's a real prospect. I think he's a little bit of a unicorn.
So we're talking to Max Bultman, obviously with the Athletic Detroit Red Wings beat writer. You got to put the eyeball test on some of these guys. I've been preaching that the Swedish Elite League is right on par with the AHL as far as developing NHL players ready to play. What is the biggest thing that you confirmed in your mind about some of these prospects or the different guys? Is that because everything that we're hearing and everything that we're seeing, not just the Swedish guys or the Mo Sider German, but like Joe Veleno and different guys getting the opportunity. What has the Swedish Elite League? Am I seeing it correctly as the development? And what did you see when you were over there that confirmed to you something positive in the future for Red Wings fans because we need something positive the way the second half of the season has gone?
I think you're spot on. I think it's absolutely on par with the AHL's development league. Now there's differences in it, right? Like it's obviously on the bigger ice, and I think there is like a stylistic difference in the North American game and the European game that guys will end up adjusting to. But I agree with you overall, and I think maybe the thing that stood out to me the most is I think people think of the European League as maybe like easier to score in, and I saw it as a very defensive league. I think I saw it and I appreciated the point production more because you see that there's not a whole lot of easy chances. And I think you kind of seen this a little bit with Lucas Raymond this year, where his production in the SHL last year was not as good as it is this year in the NHL. And, how can that be? Well, I think it's pretty much because they when you beat one guy in, you're that much closer to the net. And so a little bit of skill can really go a long way, and you can kind of get these going downhill chances. You don't maybe have to beat 3 guys to get a chance. You might only have to beat 1. And so I think that was a big difference. But I think they do a really good job preparing guys for the NHL. And I think it's a fast league. I think it's a smart league. It's a skilled league. But I think what stood out to me is it is not easy to score over there. And I think you could see that in a guy like Veleno's numbers. I think you can see that in why a guy like Lucas Raymond was able to come over and exceed his production in the NHL, which is still the hardest league in the world. But I think there's some things about his game that almost the NHL amplifies compared to the SHL.
Now, we spoke of prospects in terms of players coming up. But there's some rumblings that, Blashill may not be here in the future. Are there any prospect coaches you can see coming in here and leading these young guys that we're talking about?
It's a good question. I don't really know, and I don't really know what's going to happen with the coaching search either. That's one thing that, it's probably not going to make its way to me that Steve Yzerman will make a decision one way or the other, and that'll be that. But, in general, right, when you have a coaching vacancy, it's not that big of a secret. There's very few people nobody's ever heard of, right? It's typically just coaches who have won somewhere, and that typically tends to just be the pool. It's guys on the rise, guys who are. There's not that many ways to be super unique in coaching, at least in my opinion. I don't know what Darren would say about that, but to me, a lot of these guys tend to do similar things, and so you just want the right fit for your group and for what you're trying to do.
That's awesome. One last thing, Max, is last night Alexander Ovechkin, 50 goals for the 9th time, tying Mike Bossy and Wayne Gretzky. My question to you is, what as a hockey fan, because he's just the test of time in the evolution of the game and still being that sniper. But I guess my legitimate question is, does he have a shot to break Wayne Gretzky's goal record?
He totally does. And what I think is the most amazing is you had people even a couple years back starting to project, how much does he have to score on a per year basis? How many years does he have to do this? And I think baked into that is this expectation that he's going to fall off and he's going to start having these seasons where it's 28 goals, 31 goals. That's still great seasons for any guy in the league would love to have a 31 goal season. But he's still out here putting up 50, and I don't see why he's going to slow down with it. I assume you've met him. He's just a massive mountain of a man, and that's going to continue to be the case. He's still got a bomb of a shot, and he's still a super smart player, and he wants it, right? All those things add up to me. I think he's getting it, and I think he's going to, raise that bar to a point where it may never be broken again. I think he's amazing. Now, I'm a little biased because he's pretty much been the gold standard scorer for my entire life, but I think he is the greatest goal scorer of all time.
To me, and as we're sitting here in Detroit waiting for Miguel Cabrera to hit his 3,000th hit, he is the Miguel Cabrera of the NHL. This guy is unbelievable, and I played against him, and I love the way that he's gonna have a shot to break the most goals record, if he stays healthy in NHL, and he celebrates every goal. Isn't that awesome?
Absolutely.
Real quick, Dylan Larkin update. Nothing, just more maintenance and just nothing to play for, and just to, pretty much say good job this year, kid. And I don't know if you saw my diatribe a little bit about people questioning his C.
Your threats?
Seriously, if you run across any of those guys, send them down to Woodward. I got Fight Club in this right here. I'll take Easy out. I'll take everybody out at the same time. But injury update on the little procedure that he had, or your thoughts on the blasphemy that was spewed by idiots?
Yeah, no, 8 to 10 weeks is the expected recovery timeline from his core muscle surgery. So he's done for the year. Obviously, you hope he recovers because he's a guy the Red Wings absolutely need. I agreed with a lot of what you said in that rant, which is that, he is the heart and soul of the team. He's the engine, and he does score. I think people sometimes get confused about what a high-scoring season is because you've had in this organization guys who have had those 120, 130-point seasons. This guy was a point-per-game center this year, and he did it while being a consistent battery for this team, bringing them energy at huge moments when they needed it, making huge plays. I think back to that defensive back check in overtime against the New York Rangers. That's the kind of tone-setting stuff that you get out of Dylan Larkin. It's the reason he's the captain, in my opinion, is that he's been about it for a lot longer than he's had the C on his chest. He's been that guy. To me, he's the heart and soul of the team, and he backs it up with his production, and he backs it up with the subtle things that don't end up on the box score. So I think he's a clear building block. He's the guy.
Thanks a lot, Maxie. We'll see you down the
My
road,
pleasure.
and hopefully we'll be talking soon after the season. Get a wrap up, but appreciate your time as always.
Thank you, Max.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
You can follow him M_Bultman on the Twitter machine, and point of game, everything heart and soul. I knew it.
Yeah.
I'll stand behind it. You know what else I'll stand behind?
What's that?
Cintron. Boom, 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 boom. It's now available in select Kroger stores. Just visit the store locator on CintronWorld.com to find where to buy Cintron at your local Kroger. Currently have the 2 for $4 special. You can't beat it. Bang, bang. You can get that Cintron Cranberry, best tasting sparkling energy drink. Cintron is also available in classic and classic sugar-free. Cintron, the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Tigers, Detroit City FC, La Rouge, and proud partner with the Detroit Pistons. So be sure to go buy Cintron at select Kroger's, a supported brand that cares so much about Detroit sports. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
Hi, I'm Cade Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward Sports is here.
Fresh, juicy, hormone-free chicken. Wing Snob has the best traditional wings. Try out signature sauces, Jamaican jerk, and lemon pepper. Wings are tossed to perfection in any sauce you pick. Why do I know about wings? Because I'm 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty. Wing Snob. When you have wings this good, you're allowed to be a snob. Order online now at wingsnob.com. Wing Snob. We just have better wings.
Wow, you better not put that on your tape.
It was a lot better than his
That
needle.
was even worse than you stealing my Irvinson take. Which,
Just call them
yeah.
Irvings.
I mean, easy. I'm not against you doing it, but don't do it when I'm sitting right beside you. When it comes out of my mouth, and plus you can have Albertson or whatever. You can have the other big guy.
Why don't want him now? Max just said Evanson's the guy to be hype about.
But duh, did I not bring it to you? I only bring the heat, bro. I only bring things to the table, right? That is above. I can see why you want to steal it. But here's the question.
What's up?
That Max brought up. Right? Is it, and somebody in the chat thread brought it up. And Neil's way better at me than that, so I apologize, but you'll know who you are. Is it better to have 2 studs on different defensive pairings or have a stud pairing? And that's a great question. That's a great question depending on who it is. I think in the old days, in my day, right? In my day, back in my day. Okay, back in my day, boys. They used to have tube skates. You don't even know what those are. No, it's the fact that you would split it up because you'd have the offensive guy and the defensive guy. You'd have the physical guy and the dangler guy.
Uh-huh.
You'd have the guys responsible for the net and your own end and the other guy that was responsible for pushing the puck up. Nowadays, when you have the top defenseman playing 25, 30 minutes, that really has not changed.
Uh-huh.
And as long as you're well-conditioned and a great skater and stuff like this, the game, yes, as it is physical, but it's not as physical. It's not as physical as the grind. It's more wide open and stuff like this. So it's saying that to have the option to do both, but I think as you're building up, you want to be able to go to the Konstantinov-Lidstrom pairing when you needed to, and then to be able to back off and then go a Lidstrom-Murphy pairing, and put Vladdy with Fetisov in different ways. Special teams, right? When you lug a lot of ice time. Victor Hedman just isn't one of the greatest, and Roman Josi, the captains of Tampa Bay and Nashville, respectively, Norris Trophy winners, everything. But they're as good defensively, killing penalties in those big moments, 6-on-5 against and stuff like this. That's what you want. And if you have two guys that either or you can have out there, but it's something to build on. I think in today's day and age, we're trying to build guys that can play with each other, but also too is that intimidation factor. So it'll be interesting to see just the options, right?
Yeah.
Because I think we can all agree, Mo Seider's probably your only defenseman moving forward. You could say that some of the older guys, but Mark Stahl's played his 1,000th game. He's not going to be here. The experiment, the up in the air with Hronek. Other guys, you got Waltman coming in trying to play for a job. You got Osterley, you got different guys. Daniel Kaiser, we've mentioned him. It seems that when he plays in the role that they want him, it's all right, but that's not good enough to win. It's obviously proven that. So I expect these Swedish guys, these guys, and the greatest thing Max said there is when you get the eyeball test, you see what a complete game that is played. We might just see the highlights and stuff like this, but it's not an end-to-end game. It's a systems game. It's a skating game. It's a positioning game. When you mentioned a couple different guys, but it's the size and their ability that makes them so good. You want to segue that into the forward lines. What Dylan Larkin did this year, see Dylan Larkin being a game guy, and I always say this, second line, if he's your second line center, right? You see in flashes of a guy in Jacob Verana who can be your 50-goal guy, right?
Yes.
He scores goals, 20 goals in 32 games that he's played in a Red Wing
4
jersey.
games, 2
There's your
goals.
goal scorer, right? So you have some things there. It's just how you're going to piece these all together. So,
pumped.
and you can't steal. That's mine. You can't, that's the whole thing. When I
Wait, real quick, what did I steal?
The Edmondson pair.
Spencer, do you want to verbatim because
I'm gonna grab some tape to play tomorrow.
If there was a camera in here about him looking me in the eye going, no, he didn't, and I just was like, yes, he just did.
Yeah.
Will you remind him what he said?
Yeah, you said that you were the one who has been calling for the Evanson-Sider pairing.
I said I'm the one.
Yes, you did.
You did.
I said, hey, I'm the one that's been calling.
Yes,
yes,
that's
you did.
exactly what you
Well,
said.
let me
Maddie, anybody in the background,
both
can
you
you
guys.
cut that for me and send it to Spencer? Sorry. Can you send it to Spencer so we can show easy? Yes.
Listen, let me. Everybody can have that opinion.
Let me get both feet out of your mouth.
How is that not? Why can't that be a shared opinion?
Because you said you're the one that's been clamoring for it when literally D-Mac said it at the beginning of the show.
Oh, when D-Mac said it at the beginning of the show. Oh, hold on, time out.
D-Mac said it months ago.
Yeah, that is
Easy
also true.
said it months ago.
Easy
You don't
didn't
even
say
know who he
stuff.
was
Easy
months
doesn't.
ago.
Easy
Go
doesn't
back
even
to
read.
go back to the.
Easy couldn't even pronounce Irvinson.
That's not even his name.
You can go back to when we did it. We did it on BDB months ago.
Listen,
about
both
who's
you.
the best pair
Just because
in
you guys
Detroit.
have hair.
Who's the best pairing in Detroit? And one of them was Raymond and Sider. And D-Mac said that's not the pair.
I do remember he said that. I do remember he said that. But dating all the way back to when we talked to Danielle Bruce.
That was before
First
that.
thing I asked her.
Listen, I said this 2 years ago.
Dude.
You can't win easy.
I said it when we drafted him.
Hey, you know what? I learned something last night.
Never lost.
Listen, sometimes when you're wrong, just be quiet and take it. Then it passes on. You're just digging yourself a bigger hole.
Oh, I just don't. This is not a wrong thing. It's just like I can't be excited for Simon Edmondson and Mo Sider to be paired together.
Yes, thank you, Chuck. I was saying it pre-Christmas. See, the people know.
Dude, when I was born, August 10th, 1993, my first words.
Hey, you know what? I'll go to the judge. Sam.
Oh, dude.
Tell
don't do this to me, Sam.
The truth.
Sam, I fought for your flannel Sam name, dude. Don't do this to me.
I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal if you have that opinion.
All right, good talking to you, Sam.
Hey,
remember, let me teach you politics here, Sam. It doesn't matter what he says. All you should say is technically D-Mac. Yep, whatever you say, you're right.
The thing is I think we're all gonna lose this one. As easy is easy. Spencer is Spencer. I am Sam. D-Mac has forgotten more about hockey than we'll ever know.
Oh,
so D-Mac is more credible.
Big facts.
I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. I would love to give you the credit if you came up with it, but you didn't.
Yeah.
August 10th, 1993.
You did that big J journalism thing and picked up somebody else's opinion.
Can I ask you something, though?
Yeah.
What do you say about the coaches? Coaching is coaching.
Well, I think that what he said's a great point, because mostly it's like, whose tree are you off of, or what's the recycled message and stuff like this. I think the difference, though, now in 2022, and I don't know this, but it's just sort of, it's like you can smell something going on, and why isn't it a time to give somebody a chance? We're talking about a Swedish coach, the guy over in Frölunda that's pretty much putting all these guys together. Or I mentioned Igor Larionov, or something outside the box, or a new younger guy. Because what usually happens, it's a recycle. It's recycle. Guy who's coached here, coach there, coach there. What it's about is the combination of the message, and I think it's a combination of development. So in 2022, just like the old size in the game, the speed's the new one. It might be a new, maybe more European, more Swedish elite, more, because the NHL hockey game's a combination of my NHL and the Swedish Elite League, an Olympic game.
Yeah.
Right? So you need somebody that can see it that way. If there's somebody out there, and if there's somebody that you've never heard of for somebody to take a chance on or know what he wants, it's #Wiser Plan.
Yeah.
Speaking of defense, D-Man.
That's one thing that I know. The other thing that I know, and you know, Guardian, they get it. They always get it. Doesn't matter what day of the week, guys. They always got it. No matter who's patrolling defense.
Oh, yeah.
They've got them there.
Oh, yeah.
No matter which one of these young Swedes comes over and makes the team next year. Guardian Alarm will be there.
They'll be there.
Why? Because they're our local security experts, and it can be yours too. You know how it works. You can monitor everything from the phone, the temperatures, up, down, the lights, the smoke detector in case your house is on fire, to that silent, deadly killer carbon monoxide when you are sleeping. So if you want to be part of the Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network family, you can. But I need you to call. Here's the number, 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Dude.
Give it to everybody on this Thursday. The weather is getting nice. Miggy's going for 3,000. Give him a 3,000. Hit 1-800.
Stay out. Get out of my house.
That sounded more like a strikeout call than a hit call. Good luck today, Miggy. Your fat Guardian Alarm's got your back. That's Guardian Alarm, your local security expert. Big D Energy. We got Easy in for Neil stealing all my stuff. D-Mac. Spencer and Sammy Flannel. We'll be back with the thief, Easy, here at Woodward Sports Network.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Red Wings, proud partners of the Detroit Pistons, and exclusively served at Little Caesars Arena. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Cintron is your top choice.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward sports is here.
Seafood Festival is back at Big Boy. It includes a Friday night seafood buffet that goes until April 24th. Catch it while you can. There's fish and chips, fish fry, popcorn shrimp, and Spencer's favorite, pike perch. Try the new fish sandwich. And it's available at all participation locations. Guys, we want to be there. You know the heavyweights get down when it comes to some food. Catch us at the Seafood Buffet Friday nights, and possibly at a Big Boy near you.
I saw you jump the gun on the ad read.
No, because I asked what kind of fish swims under a baby shark, and Spencer goes, "Oh goddamn, I said baby shark." I asked what kind of fish swims underneath the shark. You know that little thing that swims underneath
baby shark.
It's not a baby shark though.
Baby
But that made me laugh. Yeah,
that's where the baby shark
what
came
I'm saying
from.
is
Ask Adam, he knows.
We're supposed to do Big Boy in the next break.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, it's all right.
Which one was that break?
It was Guardian.
Hey, you know what? When he's stealing stuff
Guardian.
and he doesn't really care, he's just more concerned with
you know
what
what I'm
comes
saying?
out of. Easy said.
It's thief in the night. You know
It's all right. First day on the job.
Better watch
All
out.
right.
Speaking of taking things and acquiring new things, Debo Samuel.
Not a chance, man. How can you even and here's the thing. I'm sure that the Lions and Brad Holmes will kick the tires, but when you hear that right out the bat, the Jets are, and I don't know, this ain't panic. Like I'm saying panic, but the Jets are already out there offering the number 10 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
You can't compete with that, can you? I mean, for what you want to do, for where you get it. Now, I'm all about, if you want to drop 32 and pick up Debo Samuel for that first round pick,
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. But I think that what you see is that other teams are going to offer a lot more. And when the Jets have the ability to offer the 10th overall pick, what do? You put your best offer together, but I don't know. It's nice. Isn't it nice to hear, though, when they say, oh, and the teams that are the four teams that are in the mix are the Jets and the Packers and this and the Lions. Isn't it like
I don't know, man, because I almost
no. I mean, isn't it nice to be in the mix nationally, no matter who it is, when it's a viable trade or a guy, a true professional player, and then your team, especially the Lions, is in the discussion, whether they get it, but nationally going, oh, Detroit, this would never happen in the past. Do you guys not see this as part of how the league and how outsiders
I don't know
view?
if I like this one though, D-Mac. I just, initial thought, you
You're
get
not
excited
answering my
because
question.
Debo.
This isn't
Well,
about
I said no.
Stop.
I told you no. My answer was no. I don't get excited about it because Debo Samuel wants to be paid quarterback money. That's the reason why he wants to get traded.
Will you answer my question before you get on to Debo Samuel? Because that's not even what my question is. My question is, are you guys, or Sam, because you can't compute this. Sam, are you not excited that when a Debo Samuel-esque type of player, which we can agree, top tier talent, and then the national media mentions your organization that might be in the mix for it, regardless of, no, you can't pay him the top receiver, no, all this stuff that you're all worried about, not.
That's part
Do you
of
not
this,
see
that's part of
the
it.
progression that now Detroit is one of these four? Like, no, is it just me?
It shows that they have a competent organization and they're on the come up, or
That's
at
all-
least the
that's all I
beginnings
want.
of a
You're not going to
competent
sign Debo
organization.
because he wants wide receiver money. You're not going to go out there and sign that guy. You need to get your quarterback first. So I agree with everything you're saying about Debo Samuel not being the guy. What I'm trying to say, maybe it's just me. No, D-Mac, no, it's everybody else. But usually when I hear the updates, I always hear, the Packers and the Steelers and whatever else, whoever it is. I don't hear the Lions. I heard it this time. That made me excited a little bit. Like, perception across the league is different.
sure.
You'll never get
Maybe.
Debo Samuel because you're not ready. In 2 years, 3 years that Debo came up, you might be seriously looking at trading him if that's that pick. But you're right as far as the money and about the person and wherever else. He's going to go get paid. Why? What's the run-on rate now?
Like 25 million up.
No. What's the run in the NFL on right now?
Receivers getting paid.
Wide receivers. The runs on wide receivers, and the wide receivers just turned into the new toy. So he's going to get paid 25, 30 million, whatever like that. Jets will probably give it to him. San Fran's going to get the 10th overall pick probably.
Yeah.
But these are things that you put it in there that if you're now when you're not ready, now when you're still building, but topic of conversation, to me, that's something. I don't know. You're looking for progress. You guys want to get to the finish line. Enjoy the journey. Destination's an oasis. You're a human being. The destination always changes. The end goal always changes. Right? It's just where you're at. And to me, going in, 7 days away from the draft's next week, right?
For me, this specific one, though, and this specific scenario, like talking about the Debo stuff, I know everyone's excited about it. Everyone on Twitter is like hyping up, tweeting about it, and it is exciting because he is an exciting player. But if I don't want to pay my quarterback $30 million, why in the hell would I want to pay a wide receiver like almost just as much? You know what I'm saying? Plus, give up assets to get him.
Excitement. Maybe people's excitement were the fact that Detroit was in the conversation, not the fact that they're going to go out and sign him. You're in no shape and position, salary cap-wise, position to where you are of anything, right? But baby step the fact that, hey, if top guys come up and your team's name comes in, one of these top guys at the time will be we're going to get, right? If it consistently goes like this, some top guy's going to come up and we're going to look at the money and we're going to look at where we're at and we're going to go, we need this guy. Let's get him.
Yeah. Spencer, you say something?
Well, yeah, I just think the Lions should try to get Debo Samuel. I mean, this is a game changer. This is a guy that can break a game for you. And I think there's not a lot of him going around. And if we have to trade the 32 and the 34th pick to get a guy that is a game breaker, that is a proven commodity, that is, Sam called him the best offensive weapon in the NFL. I don't know if I'd go that far, but he's definitely up there. And getting a guy like that can take your offense to the next level. And if the Lions are believing what they're saying, when they have faith in Jared Goff and they think Jared Goff's their guy for the long run, if you get him a player like Debo to go with an Amon-Ra St. Brown and a DJ Chark, it brings your wide receiving core from being a lower tier wide receiving core to being one of the best in the NFL. If Amon-Ra St. Brown is your third wide receiver, that gives you a fantastic receiving core. And I just think that would make Jared Goff prove that he is worth the contract if you get him.
Too early in the process to throw the money, and whether it's he doesn't get and he gets even $20 million a year.
Yeah.
You can't put that there. When your quarterback's in place, right? This conversation, I might even say next year at the end of the clock. Maybe it would be relevant, but I think it's more in 2 years. So who is the Debo Samuel going to be in 2 years that's going to be available that's going to put us over the edge? I just think that right now, weighing the pros and cons, because of the fact, so you're going to go out and pretty much mortgage that side or put all your eggs in one basket in hoping that your quarterback, who, if he does prove it, you will have to pay, that you don't. I just think that right now, it's too much. And at this time, you're not going to put as much as what it takes. You're not going to make the deal it takes to get it done.
Yeah. And I hate to be that guy because it is annoying and it is the same thing over and over.
No, you love being that guy.
I get sick of hearing myself say this though, but I don't want that unless we have a quarterback on a rookie deal where we can afford it. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, I mean the Jets did it. Makes sense. They have Zach Wilson. They can afford to pay a receiver $25 million for a couple of years.
Look at you being Neil Rule in the draft capital.
Hey, what about the Raiders? Neil Rule's copying me.
What about the Raiders? The Raiders just paid Derek Carr. They paid Devontae Adams. They paid Darren Waller. There's enough money to get this done if you really want to.
I would argue that Derek Carr is a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah, but I'm just saying, you said if you have a quarterback on a rookie deal, then you can make this kind of deal. But they don't have a quarterback on a rookie deal. They just signed their quarterback to a massive contract, and they signed Devontae Adams to $25 million a year. You don't have to have that rookie deal quarterback to go out and get a guy. Yeah, it helps. You can build more around it for sure, but it can be done.
I was going to say, because it's not just two people. You need a football team. And yes, we know they made those signings, but we've yet to see what it turns into on the field.
The Raiders have a pretty good football team. They got
do,
Darren Waller.
Let's see him on the field this year.
Max Crosby. They signed Chandler Jones.
Let's see how performance in the field this year. I mean, you had your hand raised, Sam.
I'm going to back up Spencer on this one. I want Debo. I will trade the 32 and 34th pick. I said it on the bottom line yesterday. He is the best offensive weapon in the entire NFL. Look what Jamar Chase did for Cincinnati. Look what Cooper Kupp did for Los Angeles. The Raiders are paying a ton of players. The salary cap, you can kind of work around that. And maybe even if you get a Debo Samuel to pair with an Amon-Ra, a DJ Chark, DeAndre Swift in the backfield, great offensive line, that is the type of offense that could actually maybe get you to the playoffs, get to the Super Bowl. That's my opinion, but Debo Samuel is that good. He's that dynamic. He averaged 18 yards a catch, 1,400 yards, and over 6 yards per carry out of the backfield. The single greatest offensive weapon in the NFL. It's about time the Lions do something bold and get him.
Can I say this real quick? What's been more consistent? Debo last year, his first year being the single greatest offensive weapon in football, or his head coach, Kyle Shanahan, being one of the single greatest offensive minds in football? How much of that goes into him and his utilization of that offense and the production he put up last year?
There's a combination of that. Still the same thing is that does anybody else worried about injury problems with Debo? And the more you play him short and inside out of the backfield doing that, the more chance he has to get hurt. I just don't think the pros and the cons of what it would do to your organization with what you're building right now to give away and spend that money when you're not even to the end of my freaking clock. Right? When that's done. I think we were just a year early to really consider, because I think we sit more in the same position. Yeah, we get better in offense, but what is Debo? Debo's not the deep, long threat. Debo's more of, you have another Amon-Ra St. Brown. Hey, get him the ball and he can go, but there's just too many questions. And again, you're going to have to pay him.
Yeah.
Whether between 20 and 28 million. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Yes, but he's Amon-Ra St. Brown times like 10.
Okay, but you already have an Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam. I need a guy that can bring the field.
DJ Chark.
How many games does he win you with this team? With Jared Goff at quarterback, with the rest of the team and everything else. Does he get you 6 wins, 7 wins? Does he get you 1 or 2 extra wins?
I think he could get like 3 or 4 extra wins.
Does he make, okay, so if you tell me, here's the question. If you tell me that getting Debo Samuel and giving up the 32 and 34 makes you a playoff team, right? Even that extra playoff team, it puts you in the playoffs, makes you a playoff team, then you seriously have to consider it. That's where you're going. But I think it's more of what it would not set you back, but what it would, what it would slow you down. It would slow you down. We want to slow down, and we're making decisions with money, but there's times when we don't want to slow down, and that's when we're filling our face.
You're right.
No, wrong, right?
No, you're right.
Wrong.
You're right.
I don't know.
Hey.
You ever met a buffet you didn't like? I haven't.
For sure. But I'll tell you what, before I go to that buffet, I'm getting fresh, clean, nice, and tan. Only place to do that is Chili Peppers. Chili Peppers 10. Don't let this camera fool you guys. I am a white man. All right? Chili Peppers 10 is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They beat all the competitors by $5. And don't forget to pick up that Australian Gold, designer skin, and Caltan Swedish Beauty Lotions. ChiliPeppersTan.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans, and your vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more.
At Wingsnob, staying humble's not our forte. We just have better wings. We're back at it again with our crispy golden brown fries and our famous boneless wings. Juicy, tender, hormone-free chicken. Your favorite signature sauces with no bone. Just when you thought Wingsnob couldn't get any better. Order online at wingsnob.com today. Wingsnob. We just have better wings.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward sports is here.
What up, though? Welcome back to Big D Energy. I'm your host, Darren McCarty. No, I'm just kidding. I'm your boy Easy from the Woodward Heavyweights, filling in for Golden Voice Neil Rule.
I don't know what's worse, your impersonation of my voice, or you're stealing my dynamic duo.
That I'm not gonna lie, that one was bad.
Hey, you
More
know
like
what?
Batman than
If we
than
get
Darren.
to, hey, we're at 63 likes. We get to 64 likes. I might hit Easy with the chair today on the way out.
There we go.
You know what? I like that. How many likes?
He
One.
said 64. He just needs 2 more.
Yeah, no. 100.
Hey, you heard him. He said, I like that. Cut it right there.
Hey,
See?
111
Anyways.
likes. Let's do it.
Anyways, where are we at in the chat thread as far as
Debo
I
stuff?
see a lot of, I see some Debo. Hey.
Hey.
I just read we could trade the 2 pick.
Make it a poll.
Some of them like what Slingblade Smitty says, or whatever his name is in there, is the fact that trade the other 2.
Joey 2 times says Debo helps in quotations is enough to justify what it takes to get him and pay him.
Hey, here's your question, your point. I am salty says exactly. We don't have Kyle Shanahan. He won't put up big numbers in Detroit. There's something to coaching and players and systems and stuff like that. If he doesn't go to the Jets because they have the 4 and 10 picks, most leverage to get away is that anybody think about him in Green Bay?
I'm just like when I see this stuff about we don't want Debo, we don't want Deshaun Watson, we don't want to go after Tyreek Hill, we don't want to go after these guys. You need blue chip players. These are blue chip players that aren't available every year. I understand we're in a rebuild, but this jumpstarts a rebuild. This pushes that clock forward 7 weeks. If you get a guy like Debo Samuel, if you get a Deshaun Watson, and you're going to have to pay that price at some point. If you want to be a good football team, you need good football players. And these good, high-level, arguably best receiver in the league, arguably a top 4 quarterback in the league, these guys aren't available every year. They're not available for you to just go out and grab when you're ready. So it's not always about when you're ready. It's about what you need and what's available.
I disagree, because you see what's ready when you're ready. And I think it's a hard... I think you're right. As far as the question should be, okay, Lions, which blue chipper out there that comes about do you go for? Because I get Deshaun Watson's talent. I get Debo Samuel, but I'm nose on them. I'm nose on Deshaun, more of character, more of what we have around the team, and I don't want to pay him the money when I don't have the rest of the team around him, right? But a Deshaun Watson player, when the clock runs out or in 2 years, I'm not against it. A Debo Samuel player. What I'm saying is that you're absolutely right. I just think we're just a hair too early.
Yeah.
Here's the question. So say we go 7 and 10, right? We end up where would that put us? 10th, 12th pick, 8 to 12, something like this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have that pick and somebody comes up like a Debo, then you're willing to make that move, right? So maybe it's next year. Maybe that's what we're talking about with the clock. But also what great organizations do, and I know Steve Yzerman does this, right, is look to see whose contracts are coming up. Look to see what different situations are. Look at the teams and see how is their cap against this, or how does it formulate. So I guess bigger picture, to my point, that the Lions are in the bigger picture. Their name comes up when these blue chip guys comes is you know what?
They're going to get one.
Eventually, and when we do, we get the right one.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is that I agree with you, Spence. I agree with you. I just don't think, and out of all of those, honestly, I thought Tyreek Hill would have been the one to take the shot on.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I never said no to Tyreek, and you guys.
But then you're not going to do it because it's. But again, it goes to show me that they have a game plan coming out of Allen Park. Right? That's all it is. So hopefully next year we're having the same conversation, because it could be legitimate.
Mm-hmm.
More legitimate. And still, you don't know if the Lions are going to make a better offer. Who knows? I just like the fact that it changes it.
Hey, we got guests in the building, Jeff.
Let me ask Jeff. Jeff,
yeah. What's your take on this stuff, man?
Morning Wood, he's our Pistons guy. He's our everything around here. We call him the juicy one. Juicy Jeff, what's going on, bud?
Juicy. Oh, it's going. I hear
what are you? Hey, you're down on.
What are you doing nowadays? By the way,
you're down on everything. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's finish this conversation about Debo.
Okay. On Debo, I'm with you guys. I'd appreciate the Lions at least trying, but no Debo. Listen, Spencer, let me ask you this.
Pulled his groin in there or something.
No, Debo Samuel is a great receiver, but Devontae Adams, I think, there's a different echelon. You mentioned Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
I would say no to Debo Samuel. All right, and I get it. He already came out and said he doesn't want to play the running back position. He doesn't want to do that no more. He wants to be strictly a receiver. And last season was the first season Debo Samuel was pretty much healthy the entire season. Last 2 seasons, people forget, wasn't healthy, wasn't there, had a career year last season. Are you comfortable? And you talk about timing and the clock. Comfortable giving this amount of money to a guy who had one great season? And I would argue no, considering where the Lions are right now. I just don't think it's the right time. If we had a complete team and all you needed was a Debo Samuel to come in and you had a quarterback on a rookie contract, maybe it's you could talk yourself into it. Yeah. But right now, no.
What about my opinion on the fact that the Lions were one of the 4 teams that was brought up nationally? Is that do you see what I'm saying about perspective from?
I love it.
Do you get that?
Yeah,
I love that.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that too. So that tells me
appreciate you.
Right, that the pieces are being put in place. Now, do you, Jeff? You're as big of a Detroit sports fan, Lions fan as any of us here and stuff like this. Do you see it differently? Do you see that they have a game plan? Do you trust going in a week before the season? Where are you at with this Lions draft?
I have never been more confident going into a draft than right now, considering who, and that goes for most, honestly.
That's a whole lot of juicy confidence, boys and girls.
And that's
juicy confidence.
And that's across all sports. Red Wings, the Pistons, the Lions now. Like, I'm confident. We can have the argument who you want at number 2, but let's be honest, guys. Whoever they take,
this kid.
I'm comfortable.
He's got potential. He's going places.
I'm all good. I'm chilling. I've never been stressed out going into a draft. It's not,
I'm kind of stressed out this year because I just don't know where the heck
the
they're
draft,
going.
I can see that, and the players available, but who's selecting, you can't tell me. You're nervous.
So do you have a... I'll get to this.
Can I say something about those receivers?
Before we get to the basketball. But do you have a guy at number 2 that so you're going to be involved too. Draft night, the juicy one will be there. D-Max draft drinking game with the Woodward heavyweights and the staff. You have to choose your favorite shot, one that you're sort of like, okay, like, all right, it's not your favorite, but you feel like you did, and then one you absolutely hate, and you have to be honest about it because it depends on who the Lions draft,
right?
And what you feel, you have to do that shot. Are you down?
I'm down.
Attaboy,
I'll do it.
That's my guy right there. That's a soldier in the army.
Soldier.
What?
No, we were about to say something. What were you going to say?
I don't know. D-Max trying to get us all drunk, man.
Hey, I mean, listen. Depending on who's selected, there's only a couple guys.
What are the rules? Since I don't do it anymore, you guys have to pick up the slack.
That's true.
And I was a raging alcoholic, so I need like 4 of yous because I don't want to kill one of yous. I'll kill one of yous if you have to consume what I used to consume, but the 4 of yous, we can figure it out.
I'll take that.
And then you guys got Maddie too, so she'll make sure that you guys are all put to bed.
We'll take care of you.
Maddie's like a 2-to-1.
Yeah.
It's like, why do you guys go, then back to her, and that's why she runs the show. But
real quick to the point to how like Brad Holmes is established in this organization and relating it back to LA and how they're doing it. It's very similar. You look at these signings they make. Like the LA Rams took a lot of chances on former first-round picks, signed the 1-year prove-it deals, and then signed the 2-year prove-it deals, and on cheaper deals. Again, like guys who were in higher graces, drafted high, but just never really panned out in the league, and they just scooped them up. And obviously had the great coaching too. Sean McVay's an amazing coach.
Right.
That's kind of what Brad Holmes has been doing. You saw it last year with Charles Harris. We saw it again. I think we're going to see it this year with Deshaun Elliott, the safety they just signed too. But in terms of acquiring blue chip players, like you were talking about, Spence, he does it after they've already signed that contract. Because again, you get that discount because you're not paying that dead cap money.
I'm not calling Deshaun Elliott a blue chip player.
I'm not saying he's a blue chip player, but I'm saying
players. There's a difference between guys that didn't work out somewhere and dudes
I didn't call Deshaun Elliott a blue chip
All-Pro.
player. I'm saying guys who've fallen from grace. Like he was a former starter on a respectable Ravens defense. But I'm saying when the Rams, when they acquire these blue chip players, it's when they've already signed that big deal. You know what I'm saying? And they get those guys on a little bit of a discount because the other team's stuck paying that dead cap money.
But another thing is they were winning. So I think winning has a lot to do with it because guys are willing to sacrifice and come to L.A.
Yes.
If you're winning.
Yes.
I mean, Detroit, you have to
win a trade.
What is your product?
In a trade, you don't have a choice. You're getting traded.
Well, true. I mean, trade.
You know?
Like Jalen Ramsey, even those guys, they went out and got. But for the most part. I mean,
Yeah, but
Gronk had
you
a choice.
dictate when
Gronk
you're
said,
a
"I'm not coming
high-end
here."
talent. You dictate where you go.
Exactly.
Right.
A lot of the times, more so than not, or have an influence in it, and it's you could figure it out. How many? Like there's not many times that a trade happens in the NFL that you're like blown away by, right? It's just you're always trying to figure, oh, okay, well, who got the better of the deal, right? And I mean, it's you look at here in Detroit, right? The biggest one as of late was the Stafford one, but the two deals that were made is you got to be happy sitting here with 2 first-round picks this year and another first round next year, depending on what it is. Who cares if they won? Like at the end of the day, it's about your team.
Right, 100%.
Anyways, if you want to bet anything, anytime, anywhere, you know where you go. Been telling you about this for years now. MyBookie.com. Yes, that's where you go. Place your bets. Go there today. Enter the promo code Woodward when you sign up. Free money. Yes, they'll match your deposit bonus. And that's right, free bets for just entering Woodward when you sign up for MyBookie.com. Plus, you can bet on anything. So it's wrestling, soccer, NASCAR. Maybe tomorrow I'll leave you a pick. If you're lucky, I'm pretty hot, Juice. 4 of the last 5 races. Couple 25 to 1, 16 to 1 last week. It's sick. And I'm doing it all with the help of MyBookie.com. So, you two, get on there, get your things done, pick up a couple extra scratches going into the weekend. Who knows? Maybe the Lions will call you and get some of that for Debo. If you've got a problem with gambling, call the Michigan Gambling Hotline, 1-800-270-7117. Big D Energy, and we're going to be back talking some Pistons with the juicy one. Jeff Iafrate here at Woodward Sports Network.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
The official sticker partner of Woodward Sports. When it comes to stickers and signage, think Sticker Genius. We support this local Detroit business, and we are excited to show you our latest project, the Planet Fitness Studio from Sticker Genius. If you need custom stickers, wall graphics, window graphics, and plenty more, reach out to our friends at Sticker Genius. We at Woodward Sports couldn't be any happier with the service they provided us. They were quick, easy to deal with, and super professional. Head to stickergenius.com today.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward Sports is here.
What up, though? Welcome back to BDE, Big D Energy. I'm your host, Easy filling in for the Golden Voice Neil Rule, joined by his tag team partner, the four-time Stanley Cup champion, Darren McCarty. And we got a special guest in the building, basketball mind, if I say so. My head, Juicy
Hey,
Jet.
before you guys get to that, I got breaking news.
Uh-oh.
What's up?
All right, and this is huge for all my LaRouge DCFC fans out there. U.S. Open Cup Round 4 draw. We are going to host down at Keyworth, Louisville City, so stay tuned for the date to that. So another
Are we going?
big game coming to Keyworth. I'm going to plan on it.
That's big time.
I hope people don't ruin my plans like they did the other day, but it happens. And life goes on. Anyways, back to the juicy one. But congratulations. Look forward to seeing everybody down there. What a great atmosphere that was.
And
Absolutely.
First and foremost, Jeff, you're doing your thing with Sean, and I know that there's people. The morning show is one of the biggest shows on the network right now. Tons of fans. Where can they find you if everyone hasn't been up to date? If they want to catch up with some Juicy J and unless you talk some basketball.
Well, couple spots. You can go to number 1 From Half Court on YouTube. That's where me and Sean make content personally. But Woodward Pistons is becoming a thing now on the network, and that's where a lot of content's going to be trafficked to. So follow Woodward Pistons. That's all social media, and you'll see my face on there. You'll see Brandon, Sean, all the guys. So that's the 2 places: From Half Court, Woodward Pistons. We're taking over this space. So
hell yeah,
we're ready for it.
Speaking of the Pistons, man, I'm watching a lot of these guys in the playoffs. I know some of them are coming off their deals, and obviously we want to contend to be in the playoffs one day.
Oh, absolutely.
Which one? There's some names out there. There's Brunson, Poole. I mean, obviously you have Mitchell in the Knicks, but they're not really, they're not in the playoffs. But
Right.
Who do you want? Who you been fishing for and getting excited for?
Well, let me give you the good news and the bad news.
Okay.
All right. The good news is at least everyone loves to spend money. That's how this works. Fans get excited around free agency, and I understand it. It is exciting. Go out and upgrade your team. But the bad news is this free agency class is very top heavy, and the guys that are available are restricted. So most likely, like DeAndre Ayton, probably a guy I would say the most popular free agent. He's probably going back to Phoenix. You have Miles Bridges. No one's going to give him the money he's asking for, and he's probably going back to Charlotte. Jalen Brunson's one that I find interesting. For what he's asking for, he's probably going to get anywhere from 4 years, probably $120, $130 million. He's unrestricted. But my question to you guys, would you be comfortable paying Jalen Brunson, $25-ish million a year? And it's not a fit question. He'll fit. He played with Luka Doncic, very similar player to Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
But financially, that matters to me. And for Jalen Brunson, as much as everyone gets excited around this time, next year's free agency class is going to be much better. And Troy Weaver has spent time clearing the books, getting money available, and you don't want him to go out and drop money on a Miles Bridges or a Jalen Brunson to kind of set them back. I don't know if those guys will take you over the top. I really don't. And they're going to have a top 3, top 5, hopefully, pick this year. So my advice to Troy Weaver, and he said it in his press conference last week, he said, we're going to be aggressive, but you don't want to jump and overjump the rebuild. You don't want to put yourself back in a situation like they were years ago where you're clearing cap space. Like, we have guys coming off the books this year that haven't been with the team for years. Like, it's just how it's worked for the Pistons. So they're going to approach it very, Troy Weaver-esque, cautious.
Yes.
But they're definitely going to sign guys. I like Mitchell Robinson. You brought him up.
Yes.
But don't expect him to go out and drop all this money on guys. Troy Weaver does not operate like that. So that's probably what I would say to the fans, who they're expecting.
That's fair. Honestly, to me, I ask you Spence, and then you guys too, like, I don't know if 25 mil is like that much in today's market. When you look at like the top tier players are like literally getting paid double that though.
But too, that what it'll do is it'll revamp. You don't want your fourth guy making 25 million or your third guy, because then that'll mess up your books and stuff like this. What I'm hearing from you, Juice, and you tell me if you're seeing it, it's sort of like if I had a clock on the Pistons, this next year is still sort of positioning, seeing what they have with the young guys, and you have Cade. What are you going to get more out of Sadiq? Killian, at the end of the season, I don't think they're giving up on him yet. To whatever, who are some of the guys that are coming out, and is there a guy not available this year, but coming out in a couple of years that might, if you're going to keep an eye on for this guy or that guy, because this would make sense. Because to your point, Easy. Yes, it doesn't, but there's a 25. You're gonna have to pay to be a winning team.
Right.
A $25 million guy.
Yeah.
Right. In today's game, it's probably your your third best guy, right? But you want to. That guy's so important because he's sort of like the pivot, right? Around what else you can do. Do you have a couple names?
Absolutely. And for names, I would say this: don't take free agency, because they can still get deals done and during the regular season. There's stars every season that want out. You just got to go find them. We were able to get Marvin Bagley. He's not a star, but he's a good player.
Yeah.
So I would say
make this team better. And I think Troy Weaver can do it. I mean, the relationships he has with other teams, players. If you sit down at a table, if you're a free agent with Troy Weaver, I have confidence he's going to sign. It's just a matter of bringing in the right guys. And Jalen Brunson, to your point, Easy, about the money, I would say this. If you can trade Jeremy Grant, and Jeremy's money can become Jalen Brunson's money, I probably have less of a problem with it, because then you can you're drafting Jabari, he's on a rookie deal. You're paying, Jalen Brunson essentially what you're paying Jeremy, and then you get Jabari for cheap. So that would make sense to me. But just financially right now, I want them to have money available so you can go out and trade for a guy that's making, $30-ish million.
Yeah.
You have that cap space available. So it's all about this offseason. Next offseason is a different conversation, because you don't know where the team will be. You don't know how many guys will be here that are on the roster right now. But I think a lot of what they do in free agency will dictate from the draft. What they do in the draft, what position they address in the draft, then you'll kind of know if they draft Chet, the center at least is taken care of. They got to go to other pieces. But if they draft, Jabari Smith or Jaden Ivey, then you got to go out and get a center. So you got to wait till the draft, really, to see what they need right now. They need a lot of things. I mean, I could sit here and talk about it all day.
Speaking of the draft, you just said something interesting. You said Jabari as if it was a lock. Is there any rumors, or is he the number one guy on the Pistons board? Or?
I think he's the number one guy.
Yeah.
Like whoever gets the number one pick is probably going with Jabari Smith. So if the Pistons can do it, I've been on Jabari for a while. I love Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
But Again, you don't know. The lottery's in. I did the lottery yesterday. I did my own little lottery. I spun it 5 times. It was terrible. It was terrible. I got 5, 5, 6, 7, and 1. Ooh. So hopefully the results don't mimic mine, and we can get a top 3 pick. So a lot of it does depend on the draft. It does, because you don't know what they're going to do after that.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Spinny?
I would be absolutely crying.
I
want a top 3, top 4 at the very least, and then it drops because it drops off hard after that.
Mm-hmm. What about the Jabari stuff, though?
I love Jabari. I definitely think Jabari's going to be the first man off the board for sure. He's like Jeff said, he's the guy. He's the number 1 guy, and whoever gets that pick is going to take Jabari. But like I said, it's the 4. It's those 4 guys for us because we need a big man. So I want either Chet, Jabari, or Paulo. If all those guys are gone, you're at the 4th spot. You get Jaden Ivey. There's Cade's running mate in the backcourt. That's good too. But if you're in the 5 spot or below, that makes me so sad. I don't even want to think about it. Stay out for sure.
Yeah. But regardless of what happens in the draft for agency, I think we can all say next season they should be in play-in or bust.
Yes.
Like that should be the floor of this team. So they're going to go out and spend money. I just would ask people to be a little more cautious and not expect too much from Troy Weaver to go out and dump money at guys, because a lot of these guys are restricted. So, Darren, they can go and, let's say we sign DeAndre and Phoenix can match it and take him. Like, it's not that easy. A lot of these guys are restricted. So, it's very top-heavy. Like, Zach LaVine, unrestricted, probably going back to the Bulls. I mean, that's just...
Yeah.
So, we'll see what he does. I think it'll more just be filling holes this year, Darren. Filling holes, and then maybe, through the regular season or next offseason, that's when you go out and you go strike. You go hunt for one of these top dogs. But
so are expectations enough that we want to be better next year, right? But it sounds like we're probably not going to be a whole lot better.
Yeah.
But in a couple of years, because in the NBA, if you make the right moves, get the right draft pick, you can make that charge really quick, right? Are we seeing that more so in the NBA? In the playoffs these days, I look at the Boston, I look at the Brooklyn series, I look at all the different guys, the schmozzle with Ben Simmons and Kyrie and Durant and everything like that. But like who do you see the Pistons following as far as a playoff team out there right now, maybe putting the team together that way? Because you always like to look and see, okay, well, they're doing it sort of this way. Are we doing it some sort of way like one of these younger teams?
Yeah, I would honestly, for probably the comparison I would make that's, drastic, but I like the Celtics. They built a lot of that team through the draft. I mean, they had Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and they collected guys. They found other guys. They traded for Derek White. Another team I would compare to, which has Evan Mobley on it, is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, they've been a bad team for the last couple of years. They made a jump this year, drafting Evan Mobley, and that's partially why people have him so high in this Rookie of the Year race. So I would probably say the Cleveland Cavaliers last year, even before this season, Darren, they were rated to be one of the worst teams, and they made the playoffs. I mean, they kind of creeped down towards the end of the season, but they were as high as a 4th, 5 seed. So that's the way to build. Now, what do the Cavaliers do after this? They got to re-sign Colin Sexton. They got to keep these guys, and that's what the Pistons are going to have to do in a couple of years, re-sign their young guys. So that's really the way to build, is you have your star player in Cade. That's number 1 in the NBA. If you have a guy like that, number 1, it becomes attractive to other stars to come, but not just that. You can contend. If you look at Milwaukee, I mean, they're Milwaukee. They're not LA or New York, but they have Giannis. So a lot of that changes. So we got Cade, and that's really what it comes down to. They'll be just fine. They'll be good.
You said Sexton. Sexton was rumored to be reported as a Detroit target in free agency.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think he fits his mentality. Absolutely. A dog on the floor, a guy that doesn't quit. Reminds me a little of Patrick Beverley in a way, of just how he approaches the game. He's not much of an a-hole than Patrick Beverley, but I love what he brings. But let me break the news to you. He's probably going back to Cleveland. Let's be honest. Kobe Altman already came out with a statement saying that we want to bring Colin Sexton back. Colin said, I want to be in Cleveland. So for us to get Colin, it'd have to be maybe the negotiations fall apart or whatever, but I don't think Colin's a realistic guy. I would love him, though. I would like him over Jalen Brunson. I'll say that. But in reality, I don't think it's realistic. He's probably going back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the NBA playoffs and the Splash brother? What'd you call him? Baby Splash?
I call him Splash
Uncle
Nephew.
Splash,
Splash
Baby
Nephew.
Splash,
Yeah.
nephew.
Splash Baby.
Is Golden State? Can these guys keep it up? Is the real deal? Is this the team that sort of you keep your eye on?
Yeah, I think they're the only team in the NBA that can have injuries and come back and have success because they have that camaraderie already. They made deep postseason runs. Spencer mentioned it before on the show. They haven't lost a series with those guys healthy, with Draymond, Clay, and Steph, when they're healthy, of course. So, yes, to answer your question, I think what is big for them is Devin Booker getting injured for the Phoenix Suns. That changes the tide because I would have said myself a week ago the Phoenix Suns should be favorites to get to the NBA Finals. But with Devin out, even, farther than just the first series, I like Golden State. I mean, they're healthy right now. They're clicking on all cylinders. And that lineup with Jordan Poole, my God, it's going to be hard for anybody. If you have a 7-footer, to play a 7-footer with Draymond Green at the 5 like that, it's going to cause some issues unless you can guard multiple positions.
Which
so Golden State's a contender.
Kardashian is in charge of ruining Devin Booker?
Is that Kendall?
Kendall? Okay. All right. He'll be all right.
We got to take a quick break. I want to throw some specific names at you when we come back, though.
Okay.
But D-Mac, where do these free agents work out? Where do you think these guys get that jumping ability?
Well, I mean, these guys, they want to keep to themselves, and, they're pretty humble, so they want the judgment-free zone at Planet Fitness, where we all go. Yes, the non-intimidating judgment-free atmosphere for only $10 a month or $22.99 for the Black Card. Black Card, you ask? Well, look at these amenities. Unlimited tanning, hydro massage, massage chairs, total body enhancement, along with access to over 2,000 locations nationwide, so you have no excuse but to get in there. And also unlimited guest privileges. Go to planetfitness.com today and sign up, or even check out the new Planet Fitness open in Midtown Detroit at the Detroit Pistons Performance Center. $0 down, $10 a month. Why easy?
Because your fitness is essential, cuz.
Fitness is essential. Big D Energy, we'll be right back.
32 teams, 7 rounds, 224 young men who today are about to become players in the National Football League. A day where lives are changed, fates are decided, dynasties are born, and the clock is always ticking.
Draft day in Detroit. A time of hope, a time of wonder, and a time for Detroit Lions fans to act like it's the friggin' Super Bowl. Join Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorite and not so favorite Woodward Sports people will be there. Adam, Terry, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan, the heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz, Stick, Jeff Maddie, Joey, and more. Come join us at the Brass Rail Thursday, April 28th from 7 p.m. until pick number 32. See you downtown for Draft Day with Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Syntron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward Sports is here.
What up, though? Welcome back. I'm Easy from the Woodward Heavyweights, the originator of the Simon Edmondson and most cider pairing. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joined by 4-time Stanley Cup champion.
Hey, keep digging, bro. It's all right. Hey, dude, he keeps digging it. I mean, I thought that the 6 feet deep was deep enough, but he just keeps wants to dig it. It don't matter. We'll bury him, however, when he's just not going to stop.
Hey, Darren, we heard the clips back there. We know who was saying it. We know who was saying
that's
it.
One thing. See, how many times today, I didn't say that, did I? Yeah, you said that.
Oh, yeah.
See, the young bull still hasn't mastered the fact of what he knows comes out of his mouth. Take it from somebody who's had to. I got a security guard before my mouth opens up because
Guardian
of the thing
Alarm.
from my brain to my mouth. Into your hard mouth. It is for
I don't
me
know if you got a security guard.
doing this on radio and to
like
watch
that.
my mouth. And you stealing my stuff?
Yeah.
All right, real
Here,
quick.
stick to basketball because I ain't stealing nothing.
Deal.
That's proper English, too.
We have a fellow. Yeah, ain't his word now, by the way. We have a fellow Michigan State Spartan in the room. All right, big Miles Bridges fan. Him and I, obviously, we have the Heavyweights podcast. We have the discussion. I'm not a big fan of paying a guy like Miles Bridges. It sounds like you're not too big of a fan of paying a guy like Miles Bridges. Spencer, sell us on this, man.
I'm just saying, like what Sam was saying earlier, he's a great off-the-ball player. You don't need him. He can be another pick-and-roll threat for Cade. Obviously, that guy can jump out of the gym, dunk anybody, dunk on everything. And what Jeff was saying with the Jeremy Grant money, you can allocate that to Jalen Brunson. I'd rather allocate that to Miles Bridges, who is Jeremy Grant but younger, more athletic. He has a better all-around offensive game. He might not be as good of a defender, but he fits this team, and he's just so explosive offensively that if you put him in there and you get him dunking on dudes, it's going to hype up the crowd even more. Look at what that did with Bagley. To when Bagley's catching oops and Bagley's dunking on people, the crowd's getting into it. If you have Miles Bridges, who is arguably the best dunker in the NBA at this moment, doing that from Flint, getting that home cooking into it, and I just think it's such a good sign. Obviously, he's not gonna ask for a super max because he's not a super max player. He wasn't on any All NBA team.
In this market,
he wasn't
though,
an All Star. He can't request that kind of money. He's gonna ask for the same kind of deal you gave Jeremy Grant because at this point, that's the type of player he is. He fills into that Jeremy Grant role, and I think that would be a great signing for this team, honestly. Especially if we went Jaden Ivey with our pick. And you could run a Miles or Cade, Jaden, Sadiq, Miles, and then a center like, my boy Mitch Robinson. That would be a dirty lineup, and I think he would fill in great. Obviously you can't do it with Jeremy Grant still on the team, but if that trade that is supposed to happen happens, then I think he could fill into that role nicely.
Jeff, I'm gonna toss his alley-oop, dunk on him, tell him why not.
No, well, I'm not gonna dunk on you, Spencer, because what you're saying makes sense. My argument for that would be, number one, he's not going to ask for Jeremy Grant's contract. He's going to ask. Right now, it's reportedly he wants 5 years, up to $173 million. That's what he's asking for. He's a restricted free agent, so obviously Charlotte can match that. And I'm assuming since Charlotte can't keep anybody in Charlotte, I'm assuming they're going to match it. But for Miles Bridges,
$34 million a year.
My problem is this: he had a breakout season this year, which is great. Miles Bridges is a great player. I just don't feel comfortable giving a bag to Miles Bridges to come in for the Detroit Pistons. We can all agree that Cade might not be your best scorer in the next couple of years. He's that talented that he can kind of be the connector for everybody. I don't see Miles Bridges coming in and being the leading scorer on this team, at least in the next couple of years. I love Miles Bridges. I just don't know the ceiling for him, and maybe not being as confident as I should be. I don't want to throw $30 million at him, and that's kind of my process of it. He's a great player. He obviously Flint, Michigan, went to MSU. So obviously people here in Michigan would love it. I don't know if it's Miles Bridges or is it because of what's in this class of free agency. You get what I'm saying? Like, are people loving Miles Bridges, or are they just looking at this free agency class and saying, well, Miles Bridges is probably the best player available. Let's go out and get him. My reaction would be, in my opinion, Troy could go and find a guy like Miles Bridges, either hopefully next off season or through this season, through the trade deadline. I just don't feel comfortable throwing $30 million for a 5-year guarantee at him because that's your guy for the next 5 years. So this season, what he did in the one season last year, you're expecting him to grow and continue that for the next 5 seasons. I don't know if I want to bet on that, and that's just me.
Real quick, too, if I might add, like at that price point, $34 million, what he'll get, Spence, just because, like Jeff said, this free agency class is weak. I'm saying like he's going to get offered the bag because people are going to want to win him.
Yeah, but that's not. I didn't say he wasn't going to get that. I said he wasn't going to get a supermax, and he's not going to get a supermax.
Yeah,
supermax is like $215 million, and he's not going to get that.
At 34 M's though, like you have to be the second best player on the team.
And I think he would be
on a championship team. Like that's just not the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he's the second best player on a championship team.
Yeah,
he's just not.
And the Hornets are farther in position as a team right now, and they have LaMelo Ball and the whole gang. What to get him? And that's no disrespect to Miles Bridges. I think he can get better, but is he an impact player? Maybe with Cade, he's a different player. But I'm sorry, I just if you told me yes or no, would you throw $30+ million at Miles Bridges? No, I'm good.
Is it? And you guys tell me. Right, but Miles Bridges, from me listening to you talk, is sort of like a Klay Thompson, where he's like Klay could be an alpha though, but he just when he's the second gun, he's so and we always say it's the Pippen role, but to me, Klay's just as valuable to Steph in that Pippen role. Is that what we're seeing? Like,
no.
And I guess the question is, at the end of the day, right? Who's that guy going to be for Cade? Right? Who's that guy? And Cade's a different guy than Steph. And Cade, your leader, there's a little bit of different nuances. And I think with the all-around game that Cade has, that it can be somebody else that, Cade seems to me, goes, hey, all right, you go out and you get your 30. I'll feed you early on, and if it gets tight, then you shove it back to me, and then we'll run give and goes, and I'll take it to the hoop. Is he that? Because the question is, to me, is if Miles Bridges is that guy, then, and you can win with him, then the money isn't as far outrageous.
Right, and I get what you're saying. For Miles Bridges, though, I just think the sample size is too small. Like, he had one season.
And there you go, too, because we're talking about, a guy, I'm bringing up a guy that's won numerous championships and has been there.
Right, but I get the point.
And it's also, too, here anybody has taken this, is that Klay Thompson being injured for as long as he was and being out, and all those rumors about being traded back in the day when he's sitting out, you never hear anything from Klay. Where you hear Klay talk is hooping. Right? And there's something to his freshness, right? Being fresh and coming back, and I get it. That's why he's so, to me, watching him play, you forget how good this guy is.
Can I say something too, real quick, too, in terms of like Miles being a number 2 for that team to be successful? I want to point out that we also have Sadiq Bey, who arguably may have a higher upside in terms of what we saw out of him this year and his second year, who we're going to have to pay in 2 more years as well. Like, I like Miles, but again, just not at that 35. Now, 25, that's the only thing I disagree with you with. I don't think 25 is that much. Like, that's like what Draymond's getting paid right now on the Warriors, and he's been their 4th worst or best player at times. You know what I'm saying? He does offer value.
Draymond is so important to that team.
Villanova, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Jay Wright just retired, 21 years.
Yeah.
So
most underrated
I was going to
coach.
segue that stat in there. So, Jay, one of the best basketball minds, coaches, college guys.
Next
and there's
a
guy that sort of like stuck his tenure in, and I know that, he's been around, but think about that, because it just brought me up. You bring up Sadiq Bey, and it's like, oh, yeah, that guy could have been a senior this year.
Yeah.
College. I sat behind him at Monday at Raw. And gosh, man, I know I'm old. I know I'm 50 and stuff, but these guys are kids. They're just babies, man.
I know.
Just babies. But it's impressive of what he did, because you can't take away what the season he had. And as the maturity comes, and these are kids. You forget they're 20, 21 years old. They're expected to be so mature, and they're you see them and they're babies.
Sam, you made a face when I said that Sadiq has a higher upside than Miles.
I think you're got to be smoked. Maybe you're still smoking something from 420. Sadiq Bey, I know a lot of people aren't going to like to hear this, but I'm going to try.
He wouldn't get high on the bunk, dank stuff, gross, sticks and seeds that he smokes. Oh, that's unbelievable. He doesn't get his hands on the good stuff. It's not allowed.
Well, you hook me up then.
Absolutely not, thief. Next thing you're going to know, you're stealing my takes. You can steal all my takes. Do not, I forewarn you, try to steal any of my product. Anyways, back to you, Sam.
Okay, what I don't like about Sadiq Bey, and nobody seems to be talking about it, his field goal percentage was 39.6%. There is a 3 in front of that number. That is not good at all. That's
borderline 40%.
40% from the field?
No, it's not. It's
not.
That's
He's not good at all.
I think with Sadiq, there's inconsistency issues. He has to be more consistent, but as a shooter, I mean, obviously we could talk about the shooting. It's better than Miles Bridges, obviously, that upside. But as a complete player, I'm not gonna sit here and argue about Sadiq Bey over Miles Bridges. What I will say is I just don't think, committing yourself and Troy Weaver's essentially tying his hands and saying, all right, this is the guy for the next 4 or 5 years. He's not giving him a Jeremy Grant 2-year, 3-year contract.
You're telling me, Jeff, that guy isn't Miles Bridges with what's out there and the options that'll be presented in the next few years?
Sadiq Bey?
No.
Oh, Miles Bridges.
That's
not that guy.
Right, because you're going.
Yeah.
You're
not that
here's
guy.
an option.
You're not that guy, pal.
No, more.
Exactly. That's what I expect from this team, at least.
Flannel Sam, Sadiq played all 82 games this season. Do you see that the freaking created 2K players that we had to fill in the squad at the times everyone had COVID? We were missing everybody. He had to take all the shots.
Hey, he's got a higher career high than Miles Bridges.
Man.
I don't care about career high, by the way,
I'm
Jeff.
joking.
No, I appreciate that. Still, he's not an efficient scorer. I don't care if he had to play a bunch of games. He has the stats of a shot jacker, and I really don't like shot jackers. And Miles Bridges just for the
Yeah,
record.
but don't shot jackers turn into shooters if they're for real when they're younger? Wouldn't you rather have him as a shot jacker in the season that they just had? And now the true test for Sadiq Bey is right now moving into this next season. Because I think that what you brought up, Sam, is where my spotlight will be. I'll be asking you all year, is he shot jacking or is he shooting?
He better get his field goal percentage above 43%, or else
Well,
I'm ready
beat
to.
his ass.
Or else I'm ready to like call him the 4th or 5th best player on a championship team. And for the record, Miles Bridges, 20 points a game on 49.2%.
Right.
And not to
Yeah.
even mention his athleticism, his defense, his length, the fact that he is a perfect fit for Cade.
Who shoots more threes?
Wow.
I was going to say, Miles Bridges is taking shots 10 feet away from the basket.
Miles Bridges
It doesn't matter how you get him.
But let me ask Sam, would you pay Miles Bridges $30+ million a year?
He would, because he's crazy.
Annually?
Let him talk.
Just let him answer.
I would, because I think he could be the 3rd best player on a championship
he is
team.
crazy.
That includes Cade Cunningham, their next year's draft pick, and then Miles Bridges, and then Bagley.
So what you're saying to me is Miles Bridges to you is the 3rd best player on a championship team, but you're paying him the highest salary on the basketball team.
Well, you're going to have to pay Cade and the
By
next
like
draft
a
pick
landslide.
better.
But I get you. Eventually, you're going to have to sign guys. I think that's. Well, listen, we can all agree Miles Bridges is a great player. I got my thoughts
No,
on it.
but I think here's the beauty. Is you both have great opinions and you both have great ways,
different.
and that's where I take where
You're so much nicer than everybody else.
Sort of the recreational basketball fan is the fact that we will see.
Yeah,
we gonna see.
We gonna see.
And it sounds like my man playing on Sam in the booth and joining him some gypsy vodka. You want to know why? Because it took 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but they believe gypsy vodka is the best tasting vodka and smoothest vodka on the market. Gypsy vodka is gluten-free and corn distilled 6 times using artesian water. Support local brothers here from Michigan and try a bottle. Ask for it by name, Gypsy Vodka. It's Sam's favorite, and as always, drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward sports is here.
What's up, everybody? It's Spencer for the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck. You know it, you've heard about it. It's the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. There's multiple ways you can do it. You can do $10 open unlimited play. You go in there, you play all day open to close, or private lane reservation, $120, up to 10 people for 2 hours. Bring your friends, have a great time. You can host your corporate party, team building event, or just your family and friends having a good time. They have over 100 beers for you to choose from, multiple fully loaded bars. You don't want to make a decision. You don't need that hassle. They have a $2 mystery beer vending machine. You put in $2, pops you out a good beer. No hassle, no fuss, just great beer. You can bring in any food you want. Don't feel like buying food? Bring it in. Pack a lunch. Have a good time. So come on down to the Foaling Warehouse in Hamtramck and get your foal on. Or check it out at foalingwarehouse.com. Again, that is foalingwarehouse.com.
What up, though? Welcome back to Big D Energy. I'm your host, Easy, filling in for the Golden Voice New Rule. Joined by the four-time Stanley Cup champion, Darren McCarty. We got Drunk Sam. No, I'm just kidding. Flannel Sam in the sound booth. Kung Fu spinning in the TD booth. And we still got our man Jeff here because we have another topic coming up. And it's your expectations for Cade Cunningham in year 2.
Mm-hmm.
Is it playing? Yeah?
That's team expectations.
Hey,
Yeah.
before we do that, boys, I want to update 145 votes on do you want the Lions to trade for Debo? 63% no.
I'm actually surprised
2
by
to 1
that.
almost no.
I'm
Throw
surprised
this
by
new
that.
one up for the end of the show because we're just about entering 30 minutes to Miguel Cabrera watch. Does Miguel Cabrera hit his 3,000th hit today? Yes or no? Pretty simple going in. Sorry to interrupt, but Cade Cunningham, year 2, expectations.
Yeah, it's obviously a big year. I think easily he's in the 20 points per game category. He showed obviously the second half of the season ticking it up a notch, and not only that, but in the month of March doing something that only Michael Jordan has done, which is average 22, 6, and 6 through the month of March. Next season, he's probably going to be in the ballpark of 21 to 23 points per game, given that he gets to the free throw line a lot more, because we all know he's trying and he's attempting to get there. It's about the refs actually calling it, and I think Cade next year can be anywhere, 22, probably what he averaged since the All-Star break, 22, 6, and 6. I can see those numbers happening. It depends also what they do in free agency, who they bring in, who they acquire, who they get in the draft. And obviously, if you get a Jabari Smith Jr., maybe those numbers aren't as high as they would be. But with Cade, I think 20 points is the floor. I mean, if the guy got more than 2 free throw attempts per game, he would already be averaging 20 points, but he didn't. So hopefully into next year, he gets to the line a lot more and just learns and gets more just his physicality overall. I mean, I think that's one thing Cade and Ashton has been preaching a lot is just being more physical, and he can do that. So next year should be the play-in tournament as the floor for the Pistons, and then Cade Cunningham giving you over 20 points a game. I think that's a given, those two things.
What do you think of Spinny?
I don't want to go out on a limb and say all-star because, I mean, he could get there. If he takes that step up, if he gets those free throws and he's averaging 22 and he's getting 7 and 7, like those are all-star numbers. Yep. And I can definitely see it with the hype around him. So that's like my moonshot. Like if he can make the all-star team, that would be beautiful. But I'm with Jeff. Yeah, like 20-something points around there. I want to see him get a little better efficiency. I know Sam loves that. I want to see him get that shooting percentage up a little bit. I want to see him get that 3-point percentage up a little bit, and just see him build on what he did in the second half of the season, where he looked like he was the man, like he was in there, like he was balling, like he belonged there. And I think he will. He obviously will, because he is that man. And so I'm just excited. I just want to see him get better.
And there's a difference between all-star numbers and being an all-star.
Yes.
Because you have to win. I think Darius Garland in Cleveland had all-star numbers, but this year they're winning. He made the all-star team. So the question, I think I agree with Spencer. I think he'll put up all-star numbers. I just want to see where the Pistons are at. Are they in the play-in? Are they actually a seed? Are they a 6 seed? Wherever happens, we don't know what will happen in free agency. But I think the expectation should be at least 20 points next year. He's got the talent to do it. So
for sure.
It should be a big year for him. And he's not going to win Rookie of the Year. He'll be motivated.
Well,
he'll be motivated.
There's motivation, but here's the thing: is that we all around here and think that he deserves to be Rookie
Absolutely.
of the Year. We know the talent. So to say that, I think you nailed it right on, because an all-star performance, right, and being chosen is different. That relates back to more of the team.
Mm-hmm.
What we're looking, and you're looking, what you're looking for is the growth of the team around them. It's the same thing as what I sit here and say with Dylan Larkin and the Red Wings. Because Cade's it's the same way there. How are they gonna bring different guys in, whether it's veteran or young guys, drafted guys that we have here? How are they? You're gonna see improvement,
right?
Because at the end of the day, with the Wings, from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, there's progress in a bunch of different ways, and especially their captain. So if you see the progression, like Dylan Larkin becoming a point-a-game person, being the captain, integral, you see that impact from a Cade Cunningham. Now, Cade's impact is going to be larger, right, just because of the role that he plays. But I think you nailed it, Juicy, as far as how it's looked from outside, but the motivation factor. Mm-hmm. Because that's the way he doesn't like losing, not accepting it. And it means a lot to him, not only when you hear him talk about what it means to, like, I'm so proud of that this is our guy, because he loves this city as much as I do.
Yeah.
Our love for this city, there's no one greater. It's the same. And from day one, putting the buffs on, you had me at hello, kid, because you get it.
Yeah.
So he's gonna get it, and it's gonna be not only watching him progress and put numbers up and this and that, but it's everybody around him get better, because I firmly believe that's what you have here.
What's more than likely, Cade Cunningham All-Star or Detroit Pistons play-in game?
Oh, play-in game.
Yeah.
Because given the All-Star would have to be a higher seed. I mean, that's if you go out and you get DeAndre Ayton and you sign this guy and you trade for this guy, you draft this guy, maybe, you can win some games and maybe Cade gets looked at. But next year, I would say play-in is definitely
But here's
reasonable.
the one thing, Juice, and I think to bring people behind it, is that there's one thing, the perception of the media and, the stat line, but that's really not the perception of the insiders or the NBA guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you're going to see this year is that respect, because respect was Cade put respect on his name and put the Pistons respect back on the Pistons name this year. Would you not agree?
Oh, I agree.
Like just by the way that
Absolutely.
they played and that they're coming. Troy Weaver started it by getting rid of everything else. They're still mixing and mulling and getting the cap right. But I see this as sort of, and maybe like it's different, but along the lines of like Isaiah. When he came and he put that respect and and they're gonna do it in a different way, right? Isaiah was more of the silent smile at you and then just rip your throat out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Cade's gonna do it a little classier. He's gonna, it's gonna be at the end of the day he's gonna like more Iserman you and you're gonna get cut and you're gonna go, ooh, that was fun, and then the next thing you know your arms are falling off
Right.
and stuff like that. More. What is it? More Monty Python's Holy Grail?
And that's how he operates. I think even Cade Cunningham tweeted out as soon as the report came out that he was third, he said Detroit versus everybody because he understands now. Like he plays in Detroit.
Let's
represents.
talk about that.
Yes.
Right there. That statement coming out when, hey, Cade, you're right here with the voting. Just sends out Detroit. But that he gets it.
He gets it.
He gets it. He had me again. He
Fell in love
got
again.
me again.
I keep falling in love
Kid
with
gets me every time. You know what else gets me and gets every one of you? Give me it, Sammy. 1 week away. 7 days, 6 sleeps. You know it. It's draft party time. Woodward Sports, Cintron Gypsy, and Planet Fitness, the 2022 NFL Draft Party, where it always happens, down at the Brass Rail, Detroit, corner of Woodward and Adams. Yes, next Thursday, April 28th, from 7 p.m. until the 32nd pick. Yes, might not stay. Maybe we'll stay to the 37th. Who knows? Come and celebrate the Lions picking number 2 and number 32. Join the Woodward Sports and hundreds of other diehard Lions fans for our NFL draft party and live stream from the Brass Rail Detroit. All your favorites and not so favorites like Easy will be there, but Adam will be there drafting the cocaine. Professor T. Foss, Real Deal, Neil, D-Mac, Braylon, Ryan. The heavyweights, NFL scout Scott Bischoff, Maz Stick, Joey, Matty, Juicy Jeff, Sammy, Flannel, Fish, you name it. We're there, and you better be there too. So join us next Thursday, 7 p.m. Be there or be square, as the old timers used to say. See you in Detroit for draft day with Woodward Sports, brought to you by Cintron, Gypsy Vodka, and Planet Fitness. Big D Energy here to wrap it up when we come back.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
You asked for it and we listened. The Seafood Festival is back at Big Boy, including a Friday night seafood buffet. Catch it while you can, available at participating locations until April 24th. Also available, the new fish sandwich. We'll see you at Big Boy.
Counting down the hits until Miggy hits 3,000.
High drive, way back the other way, and gone! Cabrera hits another one.
The summer of Woodward Sports is here.
SMA's been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for a decade against the issues surrounding mental health and substance use disorder. With the help of NFL alumni Sean Jordan, he's been able to help save lives and take a stance against these issues. Woodward Sports, the sports marketing agency podcast, This is the F Word, a series on fentanyl. If you are struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they're here to help. Make sure you go to thesportsma.com. Sean's a close friend of Braylon Edwards, and again, guys, that podcast is here for you. This is the F Word, a series on fentanyl, and it's here now at Woodward Sports. What up, though? Welcome back to Big D Energy. I'm your host, Easy, filling in for the Golden Voice of the World. And I'm joined by the four-time Stanley Cup champion, Darren McCarty. Guys, in the chat with this stuff, man, I grew up watching Booker T. I don't think Booker T says that thing 5 times, does he?
But did you look back before? Did you watch it back? I don't know.
I tried during the break real quick. We had to hurry up and read that summation.
I haven't really watched that. You know what I do know as we get close to opening pitch for the Tigers game?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know that or not. Miguel Cabrera chasing 3,000. His 1,000th hit was a home run. His 2,000th hit was a home run.
Get out of here.
And if his 3,000 hit is a home run, that is a plus 497. Just so you know, a single is minus 170, a double is plus 400, and a triple if Miguel Cabrera hits his 3,000 is a triple, plus 17,500. What a time to hit a triple, throw $1 in there. You know, I seen you spend $5 on a worse thing, but you know what? The history repeats itself. Might want to take that home run or the double.
1,000%.
5 on each. You're gonna, maybe double up.
I'm doing it.
Just
bookie,
a little
that's
gambling,
crazy.
schwambling going on here, getting everybody prepared.
One thing too for Miguel Cabrera, I don't know if a lot of people know this. He has one of the highest OSPs against the Yankees in his career. Out of all players, it's 0.91, 91%.
He has the highest OSP against a lot of teams.
Yeah.
It's the Royals, the Angels, all these teams. He mashes pretty much every team.
So he's the Yankee killer. I mean, like I said it the other day too. They just played it on our Twitter. Actually, make sure you guys follow us on Woodward Sports. But the highlight against Rivera, he just knocked him out the park, and Rivera's just like, dude, he's the man.
That's the greatest closer of all time. He had one of the best pitches of all time. And Miggy is arguably the best hitter of all time, and he took him deep, and it was. I remember watching that game. That was beautiful.
It's funny because I made that analogy of Alexander Ovechkin, who just scored his 9th season of 50 goals and stuff like that. He's sort of the Miguel Cabrera. You know what I'm saying? And even though I would even say that Ovi at 38 is more productive than Cabrera is, but these two are just the true consummate pros of our generations, right? That we can think back to playing. You guys have been playing Ovechkin and Cabrera in the video game since the middle 2000s, right? Where you think about that these are a couple guys, coming up on these milestone accomplishments that have been around for a while. So, props and kudos to them.
No, 1,000%, and we've been sitting here. Obviously, we start the show at 11, but we get in here hanging out around 10 o'clock. It's gloomy, it's wet, it's rainy, and I feel like it might happen today because you look outside now, things are clearing up just in time for the game.
You know what? The Big G's just clearing it out. Just wanted to make sure a little Dustin got the dust to settle down. The temperatures now, it looks like the temperature's rising.
Yeah.
Neil's coming back. He'll be back tomorrow. I won't be here.
Maybe it's him bringing that Florida weather with him.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He left with the snow, and hopefully maybe this will help out. He'll be in a better mood and stuff like that. But I think that all of us should be glued, or at least to the radio and stuff like that, to listen to see. It'll be exciting. Hopefully, I like when this stuff's done at home in front of the home fans.
Yes.
Right. You know what I mean? It's like sort of the payoff.
Yeah.
Not that it won't not mean as much. But if you always have the opportunity, you like to do things at home. That's a no-brainer.
No, 1,000%. This is everything you love about baseball, man. I hope it's just as romantic. I can't believe that the home runs on the rest of those hits. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, isn't it? But it's
suiting for a special player like him.
Seeing the writing on the wall. I mean, those are sort of like if you're a bettor and you're a trend guy, those are sort of the things that you look for. So I just wonder how they get to plus 497. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's not the Miguel Cabrera that he used to be. I mean, I think it's much more likely that he hits a bloop single or like a double.
Absolutely. But it's just the fact that it's in the vortex of the universe.
That's such a
that he
specific
did it at 1,000
number.
and 2,000.
497?
497, yeah. It's such a specific number for it to be set at. Why wouldn't he just put it at 500? Why do you got to put it at 497?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Quick update to the poll, 84 votes in. Yeah, 88% people. That's what I love. We all want to get behind. We all want to feel good, and we want to make you do the deal.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Couple things on my end. In Livonia this weekend, Astronomicon. The Twisted Fellows, I'll be out there on Sunday. I will be in Niles tomorrow over the west side of the state with Calvin Johnson and Rob Sims and the Primitive brand, and Darren McCarty brand and Primitive are got a bunch of things going on, so you'll hear from that. So I will get some pictures and maybe some couple conversations to see what old Calvin thinks of what's going on down in Allen Park. And
yeah,
trying to get him on the show.
Ask him if he got paid.
I'll be at Astronomicon Sunday. What?
Ask him if he got paid. if Sheila gave him the
We
bag.
know he hasn't got paid yet.
Yeah.
Well, it's rumored he did.
Ask him to come on the show on Friday.
Listen, there's a rumor. So if there's a, do you not think that the minute that he did that the Lions would not boast that out and
For
stuff
sure.
like
Well,
this?
and that's why there's a rumor he did, because he posted it from his personal. Because remember, they said if we're gonna give it to you, we have to give it to you in like a form of like payment. Otherwise, it's gonna count against the cap. And then he tweeted out those 2 back-to-back tweets about him being at Ford Field. And it was just like out of the
Okay,
blue.
well, you know what? I'll find out, Easy. I'll find out.
Oh yeah. Speaking of, Heavyweights got pod dropping tomorrow too.
Yep.
Our guy Russ Brown that was in the studio yesterday. We stole him and we stuffed him in Studio B for about an hour. How long?
Oh
was
yeah,
that
we
one?
had a good conversation about his past, how he became a draft scout, who he likes in this draft, different sleepers, different stuff like that, what it takes to be a draft scout, his time at the Senior Bowl this year. It was a good pod, good episode.
Honestly, it was. It was cool to get his background story too, because like kind of like me, how I was clawing, scratching, hungry. Like that's been him his whole career, and he's like, stepping into. But he's big time now.
Absolutely. All right, Rake will be out at Astronomicon too with the 20x20 apparel stuff. I don't care about that. Does Matty know we're finding gold next Tuesday? Oak Island, look out. We're getting it.
Island
We're
boy.
getting it. Anyways, I hope everybody has a good weekend. I'll be back on Monday.
Well, see you later.
Deuces.